So are you considering on getting the guppy fish? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be giving you everything you're going to need to know about these fish. So today we'll be covering how to care for and breed these guys, plus raise them super fast. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and with that being said, let's get started. So guppies are super easy to find. There are a few different species of guppies. You have the endler guppies, common guppies, and the fancy guppies. Endler guppies are a type of wild guppy. They get a bit smaller and they are quite easier to keep. Okay, so when it comes to basic care, these fish require a temperature from 24 to 28 degrees Celsius. They can go a bit higher though, up to 30 degrees. You want to keep the pH hard from 7 up to 8.5 because these fish do prefer the higher pHs and they don't really like soft water as much. So your common and fancy guppies get to about 6 to 7 centimeters. Females do tend to get bigger. Endler guppies get to about 3 to 4 centimeters and females will get to about 5. Endler guppies are great for 5-gallon tanks, and then if you have a 10-gallon or above, I recommend you get the common or fancy guppies. With the tank mates for these fish, they are a very peaceful fish. As long as you're keeping them with fish that won't nip at the guppy's fins, then it should be fine. I actually did a recent video on the top 10 tank mates for guppies. I'll leave the link above. Schooling tetras and rasboras are great tank mates. Same with corydoras and bristlenose. Any fin nippers with guppies aren't a great choice. So you want to give your guppies a varied diet, otherwise they're going to be bored and they won't have something to look forward to. Just imagine having cereal every day. That's not that fun. A list of foods that are great for guppies is prepared foods such as pellets and flakes, freeze-dried foods, frozen foods, and live foods. So for a tank setup, guys are pretty adaptable. So having live plants in the tank will bring out more coloration in the guppies because they will show their natural colors, which is what you want. Live plants are great in the tank, and make sure that you have lots of hiding places throughout the tank just for like any females that are getting chased by males for breeding. Now to sex these guys is really easy, but to sex these guys is all about the anal fin. The anal fin is that fin closest to the anus. The males will have a stick-like anal fin called a gonopodium, and then the females will have a triangular fanned out anal fin. So guppies are a live bearer, and being a live bearer, they will give birth to live young. Instead of laying eggs, the eggs will hatch and develop inside the mother's belly, and once they're developed and ready to start swimming, she will give birth. So to breed these guys, it is as easy though as just putting a male and female in a tank, and they'll breed within months, give birth. So to tell if a guppy's pregnant is easy. Her belly will be pretty big and wide, but look at your pregnant female from above and make sure there's no scales sticking out that looks like pine coning, because if there is, then that means it's dropsy. Dropsy is when the fish is bloated. There's nothing you can do about it if your fish has dropsy. Most of the time the fish will die and there's no treatments. It is a very unfortunate disease. Now you have fry and you're ready to raise them. So what I do is I net out those fry and then I put them in the breeder box. So here are 3 tips to raising the fries. So you're probably wondering, what foods do I feed these tiny little fry? What I recommend if you're a beginner and you're just raising like a batch of fry, then you can just get first bites. You can get online or maybe even at your local fish store. It's usually pretty cheap. It's a lot cheaper than something like the New Life Spectrum Pro Fry Starter, but if you are really getting into guppy breeding, I highly recommend you use it. You sprinkle some of that in and the fry will just eat on that powder food. Culture live foods like baby brine shrimp, feed those to them. That'll really develop really nice coloration in your fry. My 3 tips to quickening the growth of these fish is 1, raising the temperature. Raising the temperature of the water to about 28 to 30 degrees. The only thing about this method is it does shorten their lifespan. Bear that in mind and do this at your own risk. My 2nd tip is to feed them 3 to 4 times a day, like 1 in the morning, 1 at lunch, 1 in the early afternoon, and 1 in the evening. You can do 3 times a day, but it's up to you. Now my 3rd tip is once your fry are a few months old, you move them to a grow out tank if you're raising them in a breeder box. If you're already raising them in a grow out tank, then that's okay. Move them to a grow out tank like 5 gallons or 10 gallons. Well, since there's lots of room in that grow out tank, they're going to grow a lot quicker. Those are my 3 tips for quickening the growth of your fry. If you guys did enjoy the video, and if you did, please give a thumbs up, subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks so much for watching. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you all in the next video.